Hey everybody, this is Craig from 9 Volt Games, and today I'm going to talk about the game that I actually just beat on stream. So, I still have the excited rap on here. Um, this game was fantastic, and it's fantastic not for the reasons that people have been telling me repeatedly to play the Evil Within series. Okay, I started playing the first one when it was new. Somebody actually gave me a copy of it because they were that sure that I was going to love it, and I didn't like it. It didn't grab me at the time, but people were telling me that the story was amazing, so I went on and I watched the synopsis of the story, I watched cutscenes, and blah blah blah, and it seemed intriguing. And I just didn't like the gameplay. Well, with this one, I ended up liking the game for the gameplay. There was a lot of glitches and stuff in it, but I'll get in that after. It's got Bethesda right on it. It's got that great Bethesda feel of all the glitches I had inside the game, but nothing that made me want to just stop playing the game. This one did take me a while to get into though, because I had streamed it in 8 parts, right? I didn't try and rush through the story. I tried to do as many side things as I could, getting various weapons and stuff. But the first 2 streams, or probably just the first one, maybe the first two parts of the stream were very rough. Okay. I had this like I had the feeling when I started to stream, basically when I started to play the game, is that I didn't like the first one. I'm not gonna like this game. I'm doing this because people have told me to play it. That's the only reason I'm streaming. And I kind of carry that negative attitude in the first two. And then when I shut the stream off, I ended up playing by myself, like, and just actually like getting to know the game, because while I was starting it, I was ignoring every tutorial. I wasn't paying attention to any of the side missions where you go get the other weapons and stuff, and I was just I don't know. I kind of made up my mind while I started to play it. Whereas if I think I actually started this game organically by myself off of a stream, I might have been more inclined to learn it and actually like it to begin with. So playing a little bit off stream, and then there's only 2 times that I played off stream, and one of them I ended up fighting a boss who became an enemy. But I noticed that about 2 of the bosses in the game have become standard enemies. But I actually like that because it's more of a challenge. So what did I like about the game besides the gameplay? At first, the thing I hated the most is the thing I ended up liking the best. It was the AI is fucking stupid. All right. Somebody told me that obviously you die a lot faster and it's a lot harder the more the difficulty goes up, but the AI is still fucking stupid no matter what. I like messing around with the stupid AI. It kind of gave me chances of like, all right, I can approach this situation. Say there's 3 enemies, and every enemy in this game is technically a threat when they see you, except for the stupidity of them. If you run far enough and then you just duck and hide, they're gonna stop looking for you. But there are certain enemies that are most definitely a threat. The Knife Ladies, the Harbingers, the Guardians, and even a pack of like 3 or more of the standard monsters. They'll fucking kill you. Just one stupid move. And I learned that quite a bit because I died a lot trying to fuck around with different ways of approaching situations. Like one of the bosses, the Harbinger boss, Justin was in there telling me the way that you should be beating it, and I like refused to. I even had somebody come in the stream and tell me I sucked because I died 3 times because it was a way that I wanted to beat him and I was set on doing it. I tried the whole freezing them and blah 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 first. I didn't want to do it that way. I wanted to do it my way, and then eventually I ended up doing it my way, so that was nice. So there are established ways that you should do things. There are ways that are going to be hi cat. Really? You wanted to come swat it off. Um, there are ways that are easier. Obviously, every enemy has its weakness. I didn't want to go that route. I was like, I'm set on doing it my way, and it ended up working because I beat the game. It took me a while, but whatever. And then I actually, obviously, I'm not streaming this part, but I went back and started a new game plus because I got all these items, I got new costumes, and I thinking that maybe if I go back and I pay a little bit more attention, I might like the story more. The problem that I had with the story in this game, and that was the weakest point for me. Um, like I said, I understand the story from the first game, and it was carried over into this, and now I played this one, so that's how I got the story for this one. So I was more involved with the story in this than I was in the first, and maybe that's why, because the way that it was shown to me, um, and I kind of just took it in as story only instead of watching somebody play the first game. I was a little more, I don't know, harsh on this one. The problem that I had with the Evil Within 2 story is that there was two A stories and they were going concurrently, and I didn't like that. It like pulled focus on one from the other, and I really only focused on Sebastian, Lily, and Myra. Sorry. I focused on the family story because that was the A story. You're playing as Sebastian. That's what you should be focusing on. And then the other A story, which I think should have been pushed back to a B story, was Kidman, Mobius, and Ambassador. I think he was the ambassador, right? The agency ambassador. And then her story with flipping on them and then wanting to shut Mobius down, and then having it's Myra. I keep wanting to say Myrna. I don't know why. It's because the Y's in there and I'm misplacing it. Myra. And then her and Myra had a deal about shutting Mobius down, and Sebastian was in the dark about it, blah, blah, blah. I didn't focus on that. I focused on the A story just for the family, and then the B stories of the enemies, the bosses, and some of the agency members who were in here. My personal favorite, and if they ever make 3, I want a resolution to this, and this was like a C story because you didn't have to do this mission, but I did it. I want to know if Sykes made it out. When you had to help Sykes, if you chose that mission, you got a bunch of shit. I think, what did I get? A sawed-off. I got a double-barreled shotgun. That's right. If you help him go to the chamber to get out, and then right after he leaves, it says there's a 25% success rate, and anybody else who didn't get out is just lost, and they don't know where they went. They assume that they went deeper. But I want to know what happened with that. I'm very excited to find out. But that was the problem with me. It's like, all right, well, they contain the story, and the ending. I'm very late to this party, but just in case. The ending happened, and there was resolution, kind of. There was one part I didn't like. Maybe if I'm gonna stream a different game tonight, if you want to ask me what particular about the ending, if you don't care about spoilers, I'll tell you what I didn't like about the end of this game, story-wise. But the fact that I'm more excited about a side character on an optional mission to figure out what happened to him to be resolved in Evil Within 3 than me actually caring about anything that they do with the story in Evil Within 3. Because obviously they left it open. Mobius was booting back up. But yeah. I don't know. I enjoyed it. Like it was at first my mind was set. I didn't like it. And then it grew on me, and then playing it by myself and actually dedicating time and being like, all right, I need to learn this game, so I stopped looking fucking stupid while I'm streaming it. And I ended up not forcing myself to like it, but the actual gameplay, even with its faults and glitches, I still found a way to enjoy it, around it. There was some where enemies were stuck half in the ground. This happened in a stream. A tougher enemy who gives you a lot of the green gel, which you can use to expand your character. Really? What are you doing? Say hi. All right, gotta get down. One of those enemies got sucked into the ground. There was other ones where you pull out your radio to see where the missions are, and then I kept jamming the button in the stream right to the camera, and only like 50% of the time I would press the button to pull up the radio, it would pull up the radio, which was very frustrating towards the beginning of the game because the majority of your optional missions are in the beginning few chapters of the game, right? Because then you can go there and you can map them out, and then when you come back to that area, because you usually have a couple chapters in one area and then you move on to the next. Well, I can't find the fucking missions. My personal favorite part of this game was the Ghost Lady. I don't know what she was called. The Ghost Lady missions where you had to run and hide from her. And then fighting the bosses from the first game. That was intense. That was my favorite part of the stream. I don't know how the fuck I won, but I won. And it made me feel like that made me feel good. And it wasn't based on like building character, blah, blah. I went in that fight with no health backup, like no ammo. It was very fun. So like the boss fights and just any combat you initiate, not like sneaking around, is super intense, and it gives you anxiety, but a good type of anxiety, because when you accomplish it or beat it, you feel a sense of accomplishment. Look, I'm so excited talking about it right now. I'm merging my sentences. You feel a sense of accomplishment that I haven't felt a long time in a game, especially a survival horror game. As far as the horror aspect goes, it wasn't that scary. Um, to me, it was just a good game, not necessarily a good horror game. Uh, it relied on the tense moments, but again, because of who made this game and the fact that he's built his career off of making horror, survival. He coined the phrase survival horror. He's made his name off of the intense horror, as opposed to like psychological and blah blah blah. So those ghost scenes were my favorite because they got me so tense and feeling scared that I just want to get the fuck out. And it's a different, like, you kids, you can't fight her. So that's a different feeling than when, like, oh, I'm low on ammo and there's a bunch of enemies. That's not scary to me. That's, for the most part, that's annoying in any game, unless I'm feeling up for a challenge at that time. But when you gotta, like, run and hide, traditionally I don't like it. This game did it very well to the point that I enjoyed it. Maybe because it wasn't the entire game and it wasn't drawn. What are you doing? It wasn't so drawn out that it was obnoxious. And there was a good, like, healthy break in between those segments, and you could choose to do those segments. So that's what made it even better. I only missed like a couple side missions, so that's why I'm doing my New Game Plus to go back and get it. But yeah, I fucking love this game. So thanks for everybody who suggested it. Thank you for pushing me to do it. I'm going to be on tonight. In a few hours, actually, I'm going to start the Dark Pictures anthology because there's a new one coming out on Halloween Day. And I should be done with that game quick. I should be done with Resident Evil quick and Crimson Butterfly pretty quick. So I'm going to slot in the Doom expansion on the 20th. And then I'm going to get the second Dark Pictures anthology, which I believe is called Little Hope. But tonight I'm doing Man of Medan. So hope you guys come in. Thank you guys for watching. I'll put the stream channel below. Have a good one.